And I think it's a rather appropriate day for us to be talking about the Constitution. This is much more serious than just a nice vote on a token sort of institution, if you like, for Aboriginal people.
Yeah, this will fundamentally alter the Constitution. And what watchers need to remember is Australia has about the 4th oldest written constitution in the world. It's an immensely successful written constitution. You're really looking at the US, Canada, Switzerland, and then we're 4th or 5th.
Wow.
Because all of Europe, of course, went through 2 wars and they have very new constitutions. It's been a successful constitution, and one of the reasons it's successful, unlike many places in the world, is that voters have a say in changing the Constitution. That's not true in my native Canada. It's politicians who decide if you change the Constitution. Same in the US. You know, you need both houses of Congress and 3/4 of the state legislatures. Here, we followed the Swiss model, and every voter gets a say. I mean, if that were not true, we would be a republic today, and the voice would be in place, because the political class, to a large extent, does not represent the voter in this country right now.
Right.
So we're all going to get a say, and it's very important that people understand how large the changes being suggested are. It will have, in my view, very bad consequences if this goes through.
What is, I mean, just to explain, because a lot of people, we hear about the Constitution and we understand that it's kind of the basis upon which our entire legal system is based, or the basic rule book for our country. What is it, do you think, that people need to know or understand about a constitution that they don't?
Okay, so look, you don't need a written constitution. Britain does not have a written constitution. Right. New Zealand does not. And they're incredibly successful places. They just have parliamentary sovereignty and elections, and they wouldn't be having this debate in Britain because you can't lock anything in. What a written constitution does is it locks things in. So it makes it harder than just passing a statute to change. So we basically have the most American constitution in the world, maybe the Philippines. And so we copied the Americans 120 years ago. So we have American federalism, 1 list, not 2 lists like Canada. We have American bicameralism. So we have a very strong upper house. Australians think that's normal. It is not normal in the democratic world. So in my native Canada or Britain, if you win an election, the upper house is appointed in Canada, and it's appointed in Britain. They don't block anything. So if you win an election to cut the budget in Canada and you have a majority, you just do it. In this country, you have to go and bargain with a few people from Tasmania who have outsized families and lots of friends, and they get elected to the Senate. And it's exceedingly difficult to get anything done with our upper house. Now, some people say that protects liberty, but I just lived through 3 years of the most thuggish authoritarian sort of response to the pandemic, which I've never liked. And the Senate didn't do anything. You know, they were worthless. So it's in that context that you add this body of a voice, which is undermining the notion of equal citizenship. We'll be one of the few democracies in the world where, you know, they're playing with words when they say it's not based on race. You know, we can all accept the sort of scientific point that there's not very much genetic diversity amongst humans, not as much as amongst chimpanzees. And so really, in a sense, race doesn't make any sense scientifically. But you will be getting special entitlements based on things you're born with. Yeah. And that undermines liberal democracy, equal citizenship, the idea that you should be, you know, what did Martin Luther King say? You ought to be judged based on the quality of your character and your achievements, not things over which you have no control.